No, let's even create a network for them. Kwani iko nini?
Yeah.
Hawa ndio viongozi wa kesho. The leaders of
tomorrow. Sasa.
We start now. So they came up with a youth network called Blaze.
Yeah.
Wacha nikwambie Churchill. Blaze. Blaze walinilipa. Mimi pesa ya Safaricom nimekula. Hiyo sitadanganya. Hiyo good. Hiyo nimekula.
For Blaze. Be your own boss.
Be your own boss. Did a series of tours mazee around the country. Yani you get people who are talented in their own craft.
Yes.
Now you come and inject the entrepreneurship
in them
aspect.
Yeah.
Unaona wewe umeiva kuimba.
Yeah.
But haujui biashara.
Yeah. The business side of it.
Yeah. So me I was going mazee thinking bana mia I'm going to teach. Pale watafry.
Watafry.
Mtu yangu. I think I ended up learning more than they did.
Yeah.
They are talented young guys out here mazee.
That's awesome.
And we did it we went everywhere.
You went everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you know, talking about everywhere, that's when M-Pesa went global.
That was the time.
That was the time. So finally, ungetumiwa madolari in form of shillings kwa M-Pesa. And people would wonder how is this thing working?
Let me tell you, your kitu Churchill inanisaidia.
It's global. Idea up until today.
I run a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Na hapo kando I tell guys, bana if this content is touching you somehow, you do something.
Subscribe.
I get M-Pesas from abroad. I'm like, sawa.
Yeah.
Sawa. He good.
He utafry.
So they also introduced something called Masoko. So you see the way you'd wake up in the morning, go to Gikomba, pick a few clothes, go to Kamukunji, nunua thamos huko na nini, go sijui where. Sasa hebu imagine integrating all that.
It's one community. Hapa kwa simu.
So you do everything here, shop here.
Yes.
And it was not only for shopping, peke yake. They had something called DigiFarm.
Yes.
For wakulimas. Unajua wakulima ndio wametubeba kwa hii country.
Yes, well kasa hii rainy season imeanza.
We are an agricultural nation. Sasa imagine kwa gadget you have access to financial help.
Yes.
You have access to products.
Yes.
You have access to information. My friend, hapa kwa simu.
On your palm.
Thanks to DigiFarm.
Yeah. Uliongea juu ataweza na hizo vitu zingine zilifanyika around that time,
tuweza. Sikuongea juu ataweza.
Yeah.
Kula pause. Rewind. Hapo after Blaze.
Yes.
Kuna kitu ilikama inaitwa Tuweza Safaricom Live.
Yeah.
Safaricom Tuweza Live. So even before Tuweza Live, there used to be others. Akina Kenya Live.
Yes.
Akina Niko na Safaricom.
Yes.
Mazee, yani unasikia mambo ya chasing dreams.
Yes.
Wasanii walipatikana huko mashinani, just like Groove.
Yes.
So now they did it again.
Yeah.
Huko mashinani bana, and they set up stages for performances nini.
Yeah.
And the whole country yani witnessed their people wakiperform on a national stage,
actualizing their dreams.
Mazee.
Talking about actualizing your dreams. Remember Ndoto Zetu?
Ndoto Zetu, yeah.
So there's this girl called Moesha. Moesha was a member of FBI. FBI, they used to perform with Churchill Show. Churchill Show.
Yes.
As yours truly. And then she was doing something amazing for the girls in the slum.
Yeah.
And I remember we approached Bob, the idea of Ndoto Zetu. How can we touch communities with this story?
Yes.
He was really moved by the story of Moesha. And one of the highlights of my career, Bob actually for the first time came for the live recording Garden City on 31st. After his treatment in the UK. He was supposed to stay there for 30 minutes. He ended up staying there way up until after midnight.
Wow.
It was something very, very special.
Nice.
And right after that, we launched the Ndoto Zetu initiative.
Yes.
And a lot of dreams continue to be realized through that.
It's true.
That was awesome.
Very true. Speaking of dreams.
Wakali sana.
At Safaricom Foundation, we believe that people's dreams have the power to uplift their communities. And this is why we are committed to investing in programs that focus on health, education, and economic empowerment. Through Ndoto Zetu, last year, we met one such dreamer, Dr. Michael Kazungu, who believed that improving some of the facilities at Blue Nile Hospital would increase the levels of access to healthcare for the residents of Mkoroshoni in Kilifi County.
Tulikuwa kama wanakijiji tunapata shida sana.
Kwa bahati nzuri tulipo apply basi tulitunukiwa zawadi kubwa sana mashine ya kupima damu inaitwa Fulmogram machine pamoja na kile kitanda. Wengi ambao wanakuja sasa hivi wanapata huduma nzuri kwa bei nafuu.
Ndoto zetu, uwezo wetu.
How special.
Amazing. Ndoto zetu.
Ndoto zetu.
Speaking of dreams, the word to see. You know the thing about humans, as we complain,
Yeah.
we complain. Okay, not really complain. We are never satisfied.
Yeah. It's never enough.
So Safaricom has given us everything. Ay, Sambaza. I think airtime has now come down to Bamba 10.
Yeah.
I think even Bamba 5 is there. You can okoa jahazi. You
Please
can do
call
all
me.
those things.
Yes.
But the wananchis are still like, maze, Safaricom, Joe.
Yeah.
Unaona vile tunafanyaga na okoa jahazi.
Yes.
Azinaweza kopa.
Yeah.
Kakitu kidogo nitumie kwa airtime.
Yeah.
Hebu imagine, unaweza kopa, lakini si ya airtime. It's for buying unga, mchele, sukari, nini.
Yeah.
Hiyo inaweza kuwa true. Hiyo good.
Yeah.
Of course, Safaricom were like, hiyo ndio mnataka. Worry no more. You know why?
I got you.
Aki mungeniangusha. Safaricom came through with something called Fuliza.
Fuliza.
Aki tumefuliza.
I think kila mtu amefuliza hapa.
Actually, yes.
Have you fuliza? You fuliza kidogo.
In fact, hata naomba tukimaliza hii kazi wasinilipe kwa hii namba sababu
umefuliza.
So Fuliza came through.
Yes.
Kidogo, back in your days.
Yes, reverse calls.
Reverse calls.
Yeah.
Wakazileta tena.
Yes.
Although I didn't.
In a good way.
Mazuri.
Somebody, you know, you'll wait kwa booth, eh? Someone's waiting, mama nangojea, the husband is in Nairobi, she's waiting for reverse call. So we have to wait, all of us.
Aki.
It's a serious, it was crazy.
Nice. Come through. Really come through.
It was way back.
Yeah, maze.
And then now, last year was very tough for all of us. That's when we lost Bob. And it was tough time for all of us, for Safaricom family. And there's so much that can be said about Bob. I know each one of you has a story about him. But we did a small tribute to just celebrate the life of Bob. Yeah. It should be playing anytime from now.
Hi, this is Bob calling.
Person is a person, no matter how small. That's awesome. And so now Bob has left us. Again, now we are stuck. So where do we move from here? As a country, Safaricom. Then, bam, the return of the Mac. MJ returns as a CEO. You know, first of all, that was to ensure stability because Kenya, they feel that we've invested in Safaricom, it is our thing. Nani anaingia hapo? When MJ came back,
yes,
tumetulia huyu, wajua huyu ndio alituonyesha hapa.
Yeah.
So at least we are okay. We are okay for now.
For now.
Then we introduced, of course, no expiry. data. You know the matter data.
Yes, because data used to expire after like 30 days.
Just like avocado, just gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until you reload.
That's a welcome relief.
So now data is not expiring.
Yes.
Kaa kwa simu 4 months.
Yeah. And something special also happened. The chairman, Nicholas Nganga, retired after 10 years at the top. Mwenyekiti.
I think a lot of people...
So now a lot of things are happening all of a sudden. You remember that M-Pesa Foundation?
The
one I talked about, the academy.
Yes.
Now they had their graduation, their first graduation after 4 years.
Yes.
And actually they launched a post-high school program for a student.
Kweli.
That was the time. It's amazing. They realized that dream.
But these are some amazing students, Maze. I can't wait to just watch. Nione tu what they become in future, Maze.
What they become.
Man. So during that time, as now M-Pesa has gone global.
Yes.
M-Pesa tunatambulika world over. Somebody else took this country uko global. And this gentleman is an athlete by the name Eliud Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge alikaa kwa nyumba akaboeka tu akasema how about nikimbie tu marathon under 2 hours.
What if
kwani iko nini?
Yeah.
And he set out on that journey to run a marathon in under 2 hours.
Yes.
Which he did.
Yes.
So the whole world walikuwa hapa kwa screen watching this Kenyan.
I was watching it. I was sweating.
Aki. Yani we cried. Tukifikiria now we cannot cry anymore. We have finished crying. Aki, nothing else. Sasa tumelia ya kutosha. Safaricom. Yani, do you know a proper tribute?
Yes.
Proper.
Yeah.
They changed the name M-Pesa to Eliud for 24 hours.
I think that's even
that
was amazing. That was special.
Yani, mpaka I used to love. Baraka bana nitumie Eliud yangu bana umekaa nayo sana maze. Inaingia tu iliweza maze.
Iliweza.
Yeah. Eliud was a unifying factor.
Yeah.
Safaricom was a unifying factor maze. Ilituleta pamoja.
It did.
Yeah, totally.
Ilituleta pamoja kama corona.
Sasa si tulikuwa tumejiambia hivyo.
My friend.
We had told ourselves. Sasa Eliud, you haven't seen anything.
Yes.
159. Wewe ungoje next year.
Yes.
2020. Mtafurahia.
Olympics, nini, London Marathon, you wait. Then corona happened.
Sisi ndio tulifurahia.
COVID happened and nobody expected it. And now at that time, you know, every 10 years, Safaricom has these changes. You know, they need to change. New CEO.
Man.
Now we are in the middle of a pandemic, worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
Now there's a gentleman here called Peter Ndegwa. First Kenyan to run that big organization. Na tumeingia katikati ya shida, ameingia katikati ya mchuzi.
Ya pandemic.
You are a very strong man. I would have said, hoja ishe, I'll revisit.
Because that was the line.
You know, despite all that, Safaricom during this period has been able to donate over 200 million shillings to communities. Bonga for good, for food, you remember?
Yes.
And zero rated transaction below 1,000 shillings.
Safaricom came through during COVID. Iyo hata tukifanye.
You can't.
You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
I remember I saw a picture of Mkurugenzi Ndegwa right before he came.
Yeah.
Aki, and I was looking at that picture. I was like, Aki, I look older than him. Aki, wanataka kumpatia hii mzigo.
Atabeba.
Now, Aki, if you think about Safaricom and the things that Safaricom has done, Aki, you can't add anything else. Aki, sasa Mkurugenzi Ndegwa atakuja kuongeza nini? Kumbe, I did not know.
Yeah, it's the beginning of a future. Yvonne, karibu sana.
It is the beginning of a future.
Correct.
Yes. You know, I can't wait to hear. I know Peter has done some amazing job world over. What the future holds for Safaricom.
And what a beautiful history of 20 years.
Okay.
They've done so much, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they can do any more, right? After everything they've done, transformed our lives, can they do any more? They certainly can, because the future of Safaricom is here. ladies and gentlemen, both who are in this room, joining us live on Facebook, on YouTube, and our invited guests on Zoom, please give a warm round of applause to the man that's steering Safaricom into its next decade, into the future, the Chief Executive Officer of Safaricom PLC, Mr. Peter Ndegwa. Karibu sana. Amazing is this? I mean, what a history. 20 years it's been.
How do we follow that?
I'm sure you have a big plan, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. Yeah. Happy 20th anniversary to the entire Safaricom fraternity, the family, and that is people who are in this room, plus the millions of customers that you serve. Happy anniversary to you all. So we're still just sort of looking back at the 20 years. How did the journey begin, Peter?
Thank you, Yvonne. And first of all, I want to acknowledge and appreciate everyone who has attended this morning in this room. I was saying to Yvonne, how do we follow comedians? It's good that I'm in a different, in a different profession. But really, I want to appreciate everyone who has come here today. But I also want to appreciate everyone who is watching us. It's not every day that we celebrate 20th. You've heard the stories. I'm sure, Yvonne, you'll tell us where you were 20 years ago. I won't embarrass you for that. I still remember, just to give my own story, I was 20 years ago, I was in the UK at that time, having just completed my postgraduate at London Business School, looking forward to a great career in future. It's just amazing how 20 years, what you can do in 20 years. The thing that I remember, though, about Safaricom is the young Michael Joseph. You've seen him. And my first phone when I came back was a BlackBerry, I have to say. BlackBerry. I came back with BlackBerry. But I acquired a 3310, and I still recall that mteja wa nabali uliopiga hapatikani kwa sasa. So I think there's no question that Safaricom has been an incredible story, Yvonne. So we started as a mobile company. We've evolved, combining technology and innovation to really transform lives. And you've heard the stories about transforming lives. And as we celebrate 20th, I think it's good to look back and really remember the 35 million customers we have today. When I started my career, I started in finance, and they taught us that numbers don't lie. And I'll give you a few numbers, because we started from humble beginning. In year 2000, we only had 170,000 customers. And today we have 35 million and 65% market share. On the coverage side, we started in Nairobi and Mombasa. Today, of course, we have sites across the country, 5,300 sites, but also 9,300 kilometers of fiber. And therefore, just to reinforce what has been said before, I want to pay tribute to my predecessors, Michael Joseph, who started the company and really set the foundation for what this company is today, but also to the late Bob for taking the baton and continuing the next decade of Safaricom's special story. There's no question that Safaricom has had an incredible journey with customers, with society, and also with our own employees. But I know that would not have happened if we did not get the support of broader stakeholders. We have board members in this room who are past and present. I want to pay tribute to them. I want to pay tribute to our 6,000 employees who have really been with us, but also those who joined and left along the journey, because they have all played a big role, Yvonne. And in particular, I want to mention the 118 employees who were there from the beginning and are still with us today. I want to pay a special tribute to them for the journey that they have seen with us. So celebrating the past, but also looking into the future.
Yeah, and we'll get into the future in a moment, but what would you say have been some of the key milestones of the last 2 decades?
So I think the Churchill label have done a brilliant job in terms of bringing some of that to life through stories. And I think stories are great. But I'll give you some flavor in terms of the kind of business that we have built in 20 years. So the first 10 years was about establishing the infrastructure that will allow us to connect Kenyans. So it was about voice, and it was about SMS. And you heard the story about the Friday 5 p.m. When everyone tried to call. And I still remember the advertisement that was asking people to try and SMS instead of calling. You remember the Shem Sham Toto, that advert? Do you remember that one? Yeah. And so that decade was really about establishing us as a mobile telephony, so using 2G primarily, and then thereafter 3G technology. And then, of course, we also had the innovation, the groundbreaking innovation of M-Pesa towards the end of that decade when Mike was still in charge. It is, although the story is very successful, when you speak to the people who are involved in the beginning of the story, they'll tell you that actually there was a lot of people who are opposed to it. Bona Bitangi, I'm sure you would remember, both within corporate sector but also within government. But there was also a lot of support. And that's why the courage of the people internally but also externally allowed us to set up M-Pesa. Today, just to give you an idea, M-Pesa is just about to close 27 million customers. We've added 2 million customers during COVID. Just shows just how powerful M-Pesa as a platform is. We have, just before COVID, we had 150,000 merchants, Lipa na M-Pesa merchants. Today, we are just about to cross that 240,000 merchant. Today, we have 21 million transactions by M-Pesa on a daily basis. So, incredible story, but also powerfully has had a powerful impact on society, on life. I remember my old job when I worked at East Africa Breweries. I used to be a sales director, and all the collections across during the morning distributor visits were all cash. And the biggest issue was actually security and safety of employees. Today is all cashless, thanks to what M-Pesa has been. Of course, then the next decade was about continuing the journey on M-Pesa, which is what Bob came in and continued, and then making it a broader payment platform, taking it abroad into international money transfers. Today we have about 50% share of incoming money transfer into this country. And then, of course, we went into data, setting up 4G, going into home and also office fiber. And our intention, and I'll talk about our plans into the future, is to really democratize data, because 4G is a data network. Home fiber and office allows us to really allow customers to access the internet. And our intention is to cross, in 5 years, to close 1 million homes and offices.
Impressive. You mentioned the COVID-19 pandemic. And I think, like Abel and Churchill said, you were a brave man to take on a big company with a 20-year history at such a pivotal time, not just here, but across the world. And, you know, the 20-year anniversary comes at a time, you know, when the world is dealing with that pandemic. This forum right here tells you that everybody's socially distanced, correctly wearing their masks, and we have to thank everybody for doing that. It's obviously had a big impact in our lives. What has been the impact on your work and your stakeholders at Safaricom?
Thank you, Yvonne. It's been quite a challenge for me at a personal level, joining a business at a time when COVID hit during lockdown. But I think I've also been inspired by the strength of the organization, but also the the purpose, how purpose has impact beyond the team, but also the passion that the team has had to work through COVID and support the economy. We are an essential service, so we supported by keeping Kenyans connected. You heard about all the work that we've done, including ensuring that we increase, we reduce cash transactions through M-Pesa, zero rating below 1,000, transferring money to vulnerable parts of the population through M-Pesa. So we've had a massive impact on the economy. But I think the biggest impact that the COVID crisis has had is on employment. We know a lot of Kenyans earn on a daily basis, and also on SMEs and micro SMEs. This country is, the SMEs and micro SMEs are the lifeblood of this country. And we know that 90% of employment in this country is driven off micro SMEs and SMEs. So our determination to get the country back on track has been to focus on supporting SMEs, being the brand that empowers SMEs to come back and go beyond during this COVID crisis. So last year, as you know, we launched our brand promise of being there for you, being simple, transparent, and honest. We want to translate that for SMEs as they recover. We want to work with partners so that we can support them both on the connectivity side, but also on financing their activities so that they can come back.
Mm. You're about 6 months old, right? In your role as chief executive, 6 months, thereabouts?
Yes, this is my 7th month.
This is the 7th month. Where do you hope to steer the company, considering that pandemic? I mean, and you've talked about quite a bit of support that you're giving to the MSME sector, which is very important. What's your vision in terms of steering this company, considering the pandemic we have through it and beyond?
Yeah, I think, Yvonne, it was said earlier that this has been a very successful company. And many people have asked me, how do you follow Michael Joseph and the late Bob Collymore? And I kind of feel the sense of responsibility. But also, I need to be myself. I need to lead as Peter Ndegwa. I always tell Michael, I won't be Michael Joseph, although we agree on many things. But I think it is to understand that there's a real sense of responsibility to build on the foundation that this company has had. This is a unique brand, is a ubiquitous organization, a ubiquitous brand, and a household name. I need to enable us to take it to the next decade and two. So for me and the team within Safaricom, we've come up with a new vision. I think the key for us is to know, and for Kenyans to know, that we'll continue to be a purpose-led organization, and transforming lives will continue to be a guiding light in everything we do. But the vision that we have come up with is to be a purpose-led technology company. We have been a connectivity business with a payment platform. Now we want to be a broader technology business that enables individuals to drive lifestyle they need from a financial services perspective, but also from a personal perspective. A brand that empowers business, especially micro SMEs and SMEs, but also to go beyond what we have done before, which is go beyond connectivity into areas such as agriculture, into health, into education. We have digitized financial services. We've increased financial inclusion and lifted it from 20% when M-Pesa was set up to now 80%. We want to digitize agriculture. We want to digitize education. We've seen the power of digital during this COVID crisis. We've seen the power of digital during this COVID crisis with respect to health. So we want to go into what we are calling new digital ecosystems and empower farmers, empower policyholders in health, but also empower students so that they can be bigger. But we also want to go beyond in terms of geographical reach. It is in the public domain. We've already expressed interest to enter into Ethiopia. We are going through a competitive process. If we do win and we get the right approvals, then we do intend that we'll go beyond Kenya. But also M-Pesa, it has been primarily a Kenyan business with an international money transfer arm. We want to make sure that is the platform, the financial services platform for Africa.
Indeed, going beyond, and that would be the way to go after 20 years, right? MSMEs, like you have rightfully said, are such an important part of the economy, the backbone of it by any measure, many economists. So what specific plans do you have to support this very key sector?
Yeah, so thank you, Yvonne. So MSMEs and SMEs, there is M is the micro SMEs. So SMEs and the micro SMEs are an important and the heart, the lifeblood of this country. As you said, 90% of employment. So we've been doing a lot of work. The teams have launched various products. We have launched a business app that allows businesses to be in control of their business using their phone. We've launched a transacting till, which allows customers not just to pay, especially Lipa na M-Pesa merchants, not just to pay and receive money, but also be able to pay salaries, be able to pay suppliers, so that M-Pesa becomes the platform for Lipa na M-Pesa merchants. But we are going beyond that. We want to give customers more control. We know that many of our SMEs and micro SMEs have combined their own individual business with their own individual transactions with the business transactions. We want to launch a product which we are calling Pochi La Biashara that will help separate the two transactions and actually allow the individuals and the SMEs to be more control. So that's number one.
And that is important, sorry to jump in, Peter, because, record keeping and making sure that the finances are separate, is one of the things that would be really important to small businesses, right?
Yes, so our realization is that, especially during this COVID crisis, is that businesses are running out of cash. It is important for businesses to be in control of their transactions. And one of the ways of ensuring that happens is they separate their individual transactions from the business transactions. And also that will allow them to understand how their business is doing. Absolutely. So the record-keeping piece becomes very important.
Very important. Yeah. Let's watch how it's transforming small businesses around the country.
Mimi ni mfanyabiashara South Sea. Ninauza nguo za watoto,
nashona, nauza bidhaa na niko na M-Pesa.
Mimi ni dereva wa tuktuk, nimebeba passengers kwa ABC Tukashie. Biashara yangu iko Gikoba, nauza utensils.
Challenges zimekuwa mingi, especially hii wakati wa corona. Sana tumekuwa na shida ya stock.
Security iko chini. Sasa ukipewa pesa cash iko shida.
Ukimwambia kutumie kwa simu yako, akitoka hapo tena anaenda analivasi hiyo pesa yake.
Nilisikia Pochi La Biashara through a client of mine, na akanionyesha kuwa nina register kutumia number *334#. So nikaregister na huyu client wangu akakuwa wa kwanza kunilipa kupitia Pochi La Biashara.
Niliona nakula shida, nikaenda mpaka pale na siko kuna customer care, akanifogoria, nikaona hata ni better.
Pochi La Biashara limenisaidia sababu naweza weka pesa yangu wakati ninaendea stock, ninalipia direct, hata si lazima nitoe. Na pia nikaona naweza uza airtime kutumia Pochi La Biashara na ninaweza tengeneza another source of income.
Sina wasiwasi kwa pesa yote inaingia hapo, sababu nikiwa na deni siwezi katoa.
Unaweza kufanya hesabu zako, unaona uliuza nini, ulipata faida gani, na capital yako ilikuwa ndio hii.
Pesa yote iko pamoja ya biashara, ile ingine yako iko kando.
Kuna security ya wewe kama customer kulipa na Pochi La Biashara, kwa sababu ukilipa ni ile amount ya pesa yenye umetuma ndio ninapata na jina lako. lakini sipati namba yako.
Pochi la biashara, saving yake itanisaidia kuweza kusonga mbele na nitanunua tuktuk mwingine.
Nataka kuendelesha biashara yangu niwe wholesaler.
Tungependa kila mahali unapokwenda, mtu wote ule ako na mtoto 0 months to 12 years anafikiria tu Kidi Clad.
And this is, a great way of celebrating that spirit and also making their work a lot easier. Something else also, in line with being simple, transparent, and honest is making access to M-Pesa services much simpler. Isn't that?
Yes, you can see that the dial, the USSD, dial 334. This is the unique way of giving control to the business person, whether you're a woman or man, and allowing, especially one thing that always gets in the way, which is about reversals. So you can do self-reversals, you can be in control. So we want to give business people, MSMEs and SMEs, control of what they do. And that's why we've come up with the unique star 334 hash.
And this is aggregating all the services?
Absolutely, aggregating all the services, whatever a business wants to conduct, they can go into star 344 hash.
And this is how it works.
Wataipenda, hataipenda. So will he and them. Pia yeye na hao pia. Kila mtu ataipenda. Kila kitu upendacho kwa M-Pesa kupitia star 334 hash. Kwa kuweka kila kitu kwa namba moja, tumerahisisha mambo ili uweze kuendelea kufanya vitu unavyopenda ukitumia M-Pesa.
Anyone on listening today, whether here who own a business, to try this and register. You won't regret.
Absolutely. Star 334 hash. What else are you doing for this sector?
So we also recognize that it's, all these technical elements, the digital world is quite confusing, and we want to make sure that SMEs are supported to understand and ensure that we improve their digital understanding. And so we have something we are calling Shiriki and collaborative data packages. So basically it is to help SMEs understand digital platforms. So we are going to be launching a digital academy that allows us SMEs to understand digital platforms, but also will enhance that through launching 2 products which we are calling Shiriki and collaborative data packages, which is on the connectivity side. So all together, we want to allow SMEs to be in control, but also we want to support them and working with other partners, especially other partners, to improve their capability to use all these digital channels that we've given them.
I've heard you use the phrase going beyond. And that is obviously the theme of your next phase of growth now as we're starting to look to the future. So it's about going beyond, and it's being very focused on the customer, almost to the point of customer obsession. Tell us what this means for Safaricom's future.
Since I came into the organization, I think my team has been struck by just how present customer obsession for me is as a core part, as a key enabler of what our business will be. So we want to be a purpose-led technology company, but the foundation of that is to be customer obsessed. I believe and I've worked in business for a long time, that it is only by looking after our customers, it's only by anticipating their needs, and it's only by serving them well that we can truly be a sustainable business. We are 20 years old. We want to be here 100 years from now, and one of the cornerstones of that is ensuring that we are customer obsessed. Of course, that means bringing to life our brand promise of being there for you, being simple, transparent, and honest. For our 35 million customers that have been loyal to us, we know we have not always met their expectations, especially on the data side. My commitment as a CEO is to make sure that we will have an end-to-end focus on customer experience, and in 5 years will be known as the benchmark for customer experience in the region, not just in Kenya, but also in the region. We also, of course, want to go beyond with the products that we have launched. We have explained going beyond the areas that we are doing into agriculture, into health and education. On M-Pesa, we want to make sure we democratize payments so that M-Pesa so that customers will have interoperability between various payment platforms. So, for example, recently we signed a deal with Visa that will allow us to innovate products and also improve security of our payments, so that when a customer goes abroad, they wouldn't realize that they're using either Visa or M-Pesa or the other way around. So we will have significant partnerships that we'll sign to add on to what we already have to make sure that M-Pesa goes beyond Kenya. But also within the region, we want M-Pesa to be the lifestyle brand. And we have a joint venture that we've set up to develop products at a regional level, but also start to invest into future technology that allows our business to go beyond.
And going beyond for Kenya, what is Safaricom's plan for this?
Going beyond for Kenya, in one part, it is about going to new digital ecosystems that I've explained, which is agriculture, health, and education. But also really pushing the boundaries around our existing business. Primarily, we know that data is still a huge opportunity. Accessing the internet is still not ubiquitous. We want in 5 to 10 years that internet access becomes almost a right, and everyone should have internet access. By the end of this year, we will have 4G coverage everywhere around the country, 100% 4G coverage. We've already started to empower customers, because we know the network is important, but the handsets are even more important. More than half of our customers, more than 10 million customers today have 2G phones. And without 4G enabled phones, we would not be able to democratize data. So today we have just below 20% coverage of 4G enabled phones. We want that to go to 80% in 5 years. That will allow our customers to be in control, but also improve the user experience. We'll also go to new technology like 5G. 5G will give us greater speeds, lower latencies, which is kind of the interruption you see when you're sending stuff across the internet, or when you are watching content, and it will also allow us to do a lot more. We also want to leverage technology platforms like IoT, Internet of Things, go for advanced analytics, including artificial intelligence and machine learning. I'm sure Professor Demo will be very, very happy to hear that, because it will allow us to do more for customers. Because with the advanced analytics, artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can service customers better. We can anticipate their needs better. We can individualize targeting of what customers want. So when we say for you, we'll bring it to life, both through our intent, but also through applying technology and advanced analytics.
Customer obsession. So how obsessed are you about your 35 million customers, and how are you planning to go beyond for them?
How obsessed am I? There's one saying that we have now come up with in Safaricom. I'm Peter Ndegwa. I'm Safaricom. I'm notoriously customer obsessed. that is the saying of it. I want us to bring it to life every day so that when we come to work, we make sure we are doing something that really delights customers. And I'm hoping that during this 20th celebration, we can delight many of our customers. And I'll explain that in a minute. But in terms of customer obsession, I know that data is still an area of concern for customers, whether they're at home, whether they're in the office, or actually on mobile. That's an area that I want to really focus on over the next few years to make sure that we are more transparent and also we are more affordable as a brand.
There's the Lipa Mdogo Mdogo. That's a key project, and I'm sure could you tell us a little bit about that and how, that'll help these millions of customers on Safaricom's platform?
So Lipa Mdogo Mdogo is a breakthrough device financing scheme that has not been launched anywhere in the world. It's the first in the world. It is a partnership between Safaricom and Google, and we've come up with an affordable way of upgrading 2G holders of phones to 4G enabled phones at an affordable price. So you pay 1,000 shillings, and then you pay 20 shillings on a daily basis off your M-Pesa account. So you actually don't have, a customer just needs to go to the shop. Apply for Lipa Mdogo Mdogo, see whether they qualify. If they qualify, they go to the shop, they get set up, and then their life in terms of accessing data in a different way starts then. And I've spoken to a few of the customers that have been upgraded from 2G to 4G, and it's amazing. It's an amazing experience. If you're a small business, 4G, having a 4G enabled device makes a material difference to your quality of how you are able to conduct your business.
So it's not just saying that Safaricom is moving, we're moving with the software, we've got 4G, but it's about carrying the customers with you to be able to benefit from that network.
It's really what you said, Yvonne, which is we don't want to leave anyone behind. And that's why we are targeting the 2G customers, the small Mlikamwizi, primarily in rural or peri-urban areas. We want those customers. We are prioritizing those instead of the 3G phone holders so that we enable them to acquire 4G. And if they do, then their experience on data will be much better.
Right.
And the speed, both in terms of speeds and user experience.
Leave no one behind and carry them with you. We've talked about the future. I'd like to indulge you with me. Usually when you're talking about the future and you're sort of forecasting what's going to happen, it's a good moment to stand, right, and look into the future. Walk with me over here, Peter, and let's perhaps hear what your final words are and what your final message is on this 20th anniversary of Safaricom PLC. What are your final words, Peter?
I think the Safaricom is a unique organization. It's a special business. It is one business that has combined technology and innovation to transform lives. We want to continue to transform lives well into the future. We are only 20 years old. We've just passed teenage. So we still have a long headroom to go. We want now to expand and to be a technology company. But the essence of what we want to be is to be there for our customer so that we enable their life and improve it every day in everything we do, whether they are individual customers or whether we are empowering business. But also go beyond what we have been doing, which is going to new areas where we can empower the society even more and go beyond Kenya. We've been known as a Kenya business. We want in another 5 years to be an African brand that has gone beyond its origins. So I really want to pay tribute to all our customers, the 35 million customers, for what they have been to us. I want to pay tribute to all our partners, our dealers, our agents, and to all our suppliers for being with us as we celebrate this great milestone. And we will not let Kenyans down. We will be there for them. And it is all about going beyond.
It is. What do you do after 20 years of success? You go beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, twende tukiuke. Gentlemen, it's all about celebrating Kenya's entrepreneurial spirit, their hard work. I mean, I think, are you getting the feels? Let's get the feels one more time. I think I want to watch it one more time. Do you want to watch it one more time? Twende to Kiuke, everybody. Let's see it one more time. Leading the way. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause. In fact, this should be the motto for us as we move beyond the COVID-19 pandemic, as we start to rethink our lives and rebuild. It's going beyond. Kiuka, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's stand up because, you know, we've had our audiences here, but listen, this is what COVID has made us do, right, Peter? Is that we're having events that are here. We have our invited guests here, but we'd also like to say a big thank you to those of you who are watching us live online, that's on YouTube and on Facebook, and ladies and gentlemen, 20 years
Ben Mack. Benny Mack, one of the kings of comedy. Yeah, Steve Harvey, Hugh Gleason, and Cedric the Entertainer. That Benny Mack. Once said, I'm not a star. I don't want to be a star because stars fall. I'm just an ordinary guy with an extraordinary job. That's Benny Mack, one of the top comedians of our times, the late. Being a comedian, I think, needs a special quality. So nakumbuka nikipitia hizi barabara, first time I came to Carnival. It's a very lonely journey as a comedian. You come here alone, all you have are ideas and hope and believe. Unlike music, wajua music utatoa tu studio na imbwe irudiwe. With comedy ni tofauti sana. Maana what made people laugh yesterday might not necessarily make them laugh the following day. And so it's a personal war. So every day you're fighting with your mind. Akili imejaa. Natembea hizi lonely streets. I remember taking this route many years ago. At that time, you're not a brand. You will just have your ID name. Na unatembea. Knows you, nobody believes you. You don't even believe yourself. So ni wacha nijaribu. And you walk in there and it becomes a real journey. Because once you hit the stage, once you get an opportunity to hit the stage, you may not make people laugh day one or day two. It may take a while, 6 months. But the day you do, that's when automatically you start creating a whole community around you. You start creating friends. Now those friends will determine who you become in your life. Because now, yes, people have realized you're funny, but now do you have the discipline to take that brand to the next level? You'll need discipline. That discipline will bear consistency. Na hiyo consistency hapo ndio iko shida. Maana inachukua muda mrefu sana. So kuna usanii na kuna comedy. This is Carnival. This is where many are dreams, including our departed brother Bernard Oduro, aka Othuol, story began as far as stand-up comedy is. And today we have a special tribute story of how that young man walked through these gates and became a brand. Today, on the Journey Series edition, feature a special tribute to one of our own, Othuol.
If I could turn back the hands of time, relieve every moment I spent with you, I'd still want you here. So tell me now, what happened to forever? What happened to the day? Oh, you said you'd leave me never. Now I'm in a daze.
Majina naitwa Peter Vicky Omondi. Mimi ndio baba mzazi wa Othuol ama Bernard Onyango Peter. Hiyo ndio jina yake ya kwanza. Then he changed to Ben Maurice Onyango. Mama yake alikuwa anaitwa Rebecca Onyango the late. Though he never had a chance to see the mother. Othuol alizaliwa on 30th October 1989. My firstborn, ako na siblings wake wengine 10. Total they were 11. Wanaume 3, 4, wasichana 7. Othuol alisomea Nzoia Primary School akiishi na dada yangu, auntie wake. From standard nursery to standard 8. After standard 8, akaenda Chulaimbo Secondary School for Form 1 to 4. Tulaimbo Secondary School baada ya kumaliza, alihepa nyumbani kidogo, akaja Nairobi instead of going to university. So he joined the theater NUE, akawacha kwenda kwa university. On the side of comedy ambaye sasa alikuwa anafanya, it's something we could see in him because as he was growing up, sana sana alikuwa na watoto wadogo kwake, ndio alikuwa marafiki zake sana kuliko wale of his age na wale wakubwa. In most cases, vitu alikuwa anafanya comedy side, because even in school he could decide to be number one and next time to be number last. Then you ask him why, anasema pana, last time nilikuwa number one na huku ninunulie hii na hii, sasa wacha niwe number last usininunulie. So that ikaanza kutusumbua kidogo, na huyu mbona anafanya vitu kama hizi, and somebody who is clever. He did well in primary. When the secondary school, we had a lot of problems of he's a footballer, watu wakienda football but never appears in the field. But in school footballers were wanatakikana. Ikifika watu wa athletics, he's there but he never appears in the field. But in school unapata alikuwa. Ikifika kama kuna fujo, he used to participate a lot but never found. Watu watapatikana lakini yeye kumpata kwa hiyo group itakuwa ngumu. Lakini mimi vile nishamjua, nilikuwa lazima nijue this man hawezi hepa hii group. I struggled with him ili nione amemaliza, because everything was just jokes, nothing serious. Kama ziko serious yake itakuwa too light. He never takes things